to Uncanny Cuisine, and today we're making corn fritters. So with it being summertime and the ears of corn just getting into the fields and becoming available both at farmers markets and at your local grocery store, this is a great way to use corn. And actually, I have corn that we froze from last season that I'm going to be using for this recipe today. When corn is as cheap as you can get it, go buy 12 ears, strip the corn off and throw it in the freezer, and you'll have fresh corn all the way through the season. So I think this is the last one that I have, but we're going to use that today. And I'm going to go through this rather quickly. In the comments or the description for the video, I'll put the exact ingredients for this recipe. But just follow along with me. We're going to work quickly. First, we're going to do our dry ingredients. 1 cup of flour. One cup of flour. Yep, 20 seconds, perfect. Okay, 1 teaspoon of salt. And 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. The powder, not the soda. And then we're going to mix those 3 things together thoroughly before we move on to our liquids. And that seems pretty thorough to me, so I think we're good. All right. Then in the bowl, we're going to put our tablespoon of butter, melted. We're going to put 1.5 cups of corn. There's 1.5 cups. Go. 1.5 cups. And 1 egg. A 1/2 cup of milk. I'm going to use just a hair less because I'm afraid some of that liquid from the corn might make it too thin. So I'll just hair less than that. And then, if you want, you can add in a couple of things. In my case, I am adding in some chives that I just picked from the garden. So with a pair of scissors, I'm going to go in and just start cutting little tiny pieces of chives. Now this is obviously a savory recipe, but I've also seen people eat these for breakfast with syrup on them, in which case you might want to add a different herb or spice to your recipe. So that one's going to have a little chive in it, and a little bit of shredded cheddar cheese. I'd say like, fat pinch or 2, pinch and a half. You'll know when it looks right. And then we're going to stir all the liquid ingredients together. sure that egg is thoroughly whipped in. And then we're just going to pour the wet stuff into the dry stuff and mix them together. And this creates our batter for our fritters. And it does come together pretty quickly. You just need to make sure to scrape the sides of the bowl really well so you get all that flour incorporated. And it's gonna be lumpy because it's got chunks of corn and cheese and things in it, so don't worry about trying to smash all the lumps out. Just make sure everything is fully mixed together. All right, and now that that's mixed together, we're gonna turn our burner on about medium high, which is like my burner goes from 0 to 9. I'm putting it on just shy of 7, right? Between 6.5 and 7. And once this oil gets hot, I'll show you what happens next. All right, I'm starting to be able to see the oil roll inside the pan as it heats. And we don't want it to be smoking hot because we don't want to burn the outside of the corn fritter before the center is done. So I'm gonna take spoonfuls of this and we're just gonna get our fritters started here. And I'd say maybe like a 1/4 cup per fritter is probably good, but we're gonna lay it in there and sort of press down so that it flattens the top. You don't want it to be completely submerged because you're gonna flip it. So we're just plunking it in and then pushing down. And I'm guessing I'll probably be able to get 5 or 6 in this pan. There's a 3rd one. Ooh, that one's gonna have an odd shape, but we'll get over it. 5th one. And we'll get number 6 in the middle. That one might be a little small, but anyway, you can hear them starting to cook in there. Wipe my fingers off on a paper towel real quick here. And what we want to look for is that the edges of these fritters are starting to brown. In the meantime, you can go ahead and nudge them just a little bit to get them off the bottom of the pan so that they're free floating. So we just take the spoon upside down, works better as a scraper. And you notice I'm using a metal spoon and it's also perforated to let the oil drip through. We're just nudging these loose off the bottom of the pan. There we go. And that's number 6. Now they're all floating free. All right, the bottoms have started to brown up, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip them. There we go. You can see the bottoms starting to brown. We don't want them to get too brown, so now this is about the perfect time. That one will need to be flipped again. It was the last one I put in the pan. But as you can see, they're all starting to brown up and turn crispy. I don't want to overcrowd the pan. I could probably put 1 or 2 more in there. I only got about 2 left, but so yeah, this will make like somewhere between 8 and 12 corn fritters, depending on how big your family is or how you want to cut the portions. Maybe it's 10 pieces for a family of 5, or however you want to do it. And here in just a second, when I pull these out of the grease, I will let you know how it tastes and the best way to serve it. All right, the bottoms have started to brown up, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip them. There we go. You can see the bottoms starting to brown. We don't want them to get too brown, so now this is about the perfect time. That one will need to be flipped again. It was the last one I put in the pan. But as you can see, they're all starting to brown up and turn crispy. So yeah, this will make like somewhere between 8 and 12 corn fritters, depending on how big your family is or how you want to cut the portions. Maybe it's 10 pieces for a family of 5, or however you want to do it. And here in just a second, when I pull these out of the grease, I will let you know how it tastes and the best way to serve it. And there's that on top. Let's just pull these over and let you take a look at how freaking delicious these corn fritters look. Super golden, crispy, delicious. And we're gonna plate one up and give it a try. All right, you guys, here we are with our plate of corn fritters, and take a look at that. Absolutely golden brown on both sides. And there are a couple of ways you can eat these, so I'm gonna show you what that looks like. First, I wanna cut this one in half. So we'll do that and show you how light and flaky on the inside. Look how perfectly cooked that is. And then a couple things you can do. Well, you can salt and pepper them, but on the sweet side, you can also add just a tiny bit of powdered sugar to your life. Or what I'm going to do on the second half here is drizzle some honey. And this, especially in the summertime, if you can get locally sourced honey. This is an organic honey I bought over the winter time, but there is a woman right up the street from me who's just started selling her locally sourced honey, so that's on my short list. And let's see how these taste. All right, powdered sugar side. There we go. Okay, super good. Light in the middle, airy, fluffy, wonderful. Delicious. We'll have one more bite of the powdered sugar side, because that's kind of how I learned to eat them. This recipe is also adaptable to apple fritters, which I freaking love. And are hard to find in the donut stores now. All right, and the honey side. Let you know which one I like better. Okay. So the powdered sugar side is definitely like a funnel cake sort of experience. And if you're into that, really delish. But the honey side, it dulls the sweetness down some, makes it more unctuous, more natural. And it really allows the corn to pop through. So if you're looking for that corn flavor, definitely go with the honey. And there you have it. Corn fritters, talking with my mouth full. We'll be downloading more recipes anytime now, so stay tuned. Hit that like button, drop me a comment, especially if you tried these, let me know how you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe. We're growing every day, and we want you to be part of our tribe. All right, until next time, this is Maria Shell from Uncanny Cuisine. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay high, stay you. I love you.